Hi everybody, today we are going to be doing this big mouth fish, which is just so cute and fun. Alright, so we're going to start with folding our paper. Take your paper and make sure that it's taller than it is wide. We're going to take the bottom fold here and bring it all the way up to the tippy top of our paper. Fold it in half upward. Alright. Leaving it folded that same way with the fold on the bottom and the opening at the top, we're going to fold this fold we just made up to the top one more time. All right, then we're going to flip it open and over and do that same thing again to make sure that that fold is nice and flexible so that when we position it how we want, it's going to work. We're going to open this up again. We want to fold from the openings at the top again, fold from the bottom to that middle fold that we just made. So this folded line is going to go all the way up to this little line that we just folded. It's just a tiny little portion there. And then we're going to open it up, flip it over one more time, and fold that back up again, just making sure that crease is nice and done. Once you open up your paper, you should have 6 sections. We're going to start by folding down on our second fold, like this, and then we're going to fold back up on our first fold that we skipped. On the bottom, we're going to fold up on our second from the bottom fold, and then we're going to fold back on our first fold. You should have your big mouth shape. All right, you're going to start with your pencil. And we're going to draw our little fish here. We're going to start with a big oval shape. It can be facing either direction. Just make sure you leave enough room for the tail at the back here. A big oval shape on the top half. And then I'm going to continue it down on the bottom half. Oops, mine aren't quite touching. I have to erase a little bit. We want our oval to start and stop at the same point. All right, then we're going to do half the tail on the bottom piece and half the tail on the top piece. You can do any shaped tail you want. I usually do kind of a rainbow or rounded shape with another one going the opposite direction. And we'll do that on both halves. Then we're going to add that divider between the front half of our fish, or the head, and the back half. It's just a rainbow line. If you turn your fish so that the tail is on top and the head is facing down, we're just going to add a big curved line across both folds. So when it's done, it will look like this. We're going to add those lips in there, which is another curved line. It's a little smaller, just at the front. And we're going to do a line down on both the top and the bottom piece, or a line across, to create that division of its mouth. But you have to do one half on this side and another half on the bottom fold. Let's add some fins in there. I'm going to do a wider one for the top. I'm going to do a curved line backwards. Kind of looks like a rainbow shape, but not quite. Just the part that you would see coming down from a cloud there. And then we're going to follow this line across, and we want it to be the same distance from this line on the fish as we go. So I want to keep that path the same angle as this line. You see how that follows that same shape. And then we're going to do a line down towards the body to connect it. We're going to do that same thing, but a little bit shorter up here underneath the fish for his bottom fin. I like to turn it over. We'll do a line curve back, and we'll do a shorter line that follows the fish's body and then curves back up. All right, now we got a couple more details to add. First, that giant eye. Make sure your eye stays on the top half of your paper, not touching the bottom at all. I like to do a really big eye on this one. So I draw a big circle to start. Do a slightly curved line towards the front for the part that I'm going to leave white. And then I add a little circle inside for the highlight that I'm also going to leave white. And then you'll color in this whole back part of this circle black, or you can maybe make a blue-eyed fish, up to you. And then I'm also going to add a little fin back here behind his eye. It's going to stay on the top half of our paper, and it almost looks like a triangle shape. So I'm going to turn it so that my fish's tail is on the bottom and his head is on the top. And then I'm going to add a triangle shaped fin that doesn't quite connect to finish that triangle. We're going to open this up and add our big mouth. All right, the first line we want to draw is to connect our tails. I'm going to bring that straight down, connecting the edge of his tail and the back of his body there. And then we're going to make a curved line for his mouth. We're going to, if you've ever seen certain fish up close, they kind of have a beak-like mouth similar to a bird. So we're going to make these little lips that we drew on the first part of our drawing to be that beak part of his mouth that's open. And then this is that inner part of his mouth from the side. And then we want to continue our rounded line down from the back of our fish's head. So you've got 3 lines going down, one at the tail, one at the middle of the body and the head, and one by the mouth. All right, our next step is to choose what we're going to put in our fish's mouth, or what he's chasing after. I have some little fish that he's chasing after here. You can see them in this picture. They're just little itty bitty fish. You could add some rocks or different things into the bottom of your picture as well. For my fish shapes, I'm just doing an oval with little triangle shapes off the back. I added in that same shape of head with a curved line and an eye. And you can draw as few or as many as you would like in here. And then I added a bunch of bubbles all over my fish picture to show that it was under the water. Start by closing your paper up and doing your bubbles so that they connect. If you want to do one over the edge like this, you totally can. It's coming right out from his mouth, half on the top and half on the bottom. But what we're going to need to do is when we open that up, we have a half a bubble at the top and a half of a bubble at the bottom. We're going to have to finish those underneath. So each of these 2 bubbles actually make up 3 bubbles in our picture. So they have 1 bubble when they're open, and then together when it's closed, it will make a 3rd bubble. So be sure that you color both of these the same exact color if you do one that crosses over the top and the bottom, so that when you close it, it will look like 1 bubble again. You can add different patterns and designs to your fish. Maybe you want him to be striped or polka dotted, or you just want to add some different texture to him by coloring him differently. Totally up to you. This is your fish. I'm going to add some more bubbles back here. Just making sure if you're crossing over that top and that bottom fold, You do it when it's closed and then open it up and finish those bubbles. All right. Once you get everything done how you like it, we're going to outline this fish with our black marker. We're just going to go right over the top of our pencil lines, filling in these details and kind of creating our very own coloring page. If you wanted to add some rocks or corals to your picture before you start to outline, you could do that at the bottom too. Maybe your fish is swimming along the bottom edge of the ocean or a lake, and they've got some rocks down here. You could just add some kind of different shapes that you might find at the bottom of a lake or an ocean. You could color those colors like a fish tank rock. Maybe your fish is in a fish tank and it's got purple rocks in it. Or maybe it's in an ocean and it's got regular old gray rocks. I'm curious to see what color you guys are going to use for your fish. Fish are so fun to color because you can use all of those bright and crazy colors that you can't always use realistically with other animals or drawings that you do. So I really enjoy coloring them. You can see I use a very bright yellow and orange on my original one. Thinking maybe purple and pink for this guy. Or maybe lime green and pink even. All right, and there we've got my fish. Once I close her up, she looks pretty adorable. Don't forget to upload yours so we can see what creative things you added to your fish. Bye, everyone.